When most of us started stacking, we probably learned pretty early on that the bigger the silver bar, the lower the premium. And for the most part, that's absolutely true. But does that automatically make big bars the best to buy? I'm going to show you a bunch of different sizes, including one honker of a 100-ounce silver bar. We're going to have some fun in this one, so make sure you stay tuned. YouTube, what's shaking? Welcome to another episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. Really appreciate you being here with me today, and also for all the amazing support. It only makes you guys a part of the best damn community here on YouTube, without a doubt. You've all helped this little channel grow so much over the last year, and I really am thankful for that. So today, we're going to talk about big bars and their pros and cons, along with a bunch of other cool sizes that I'm getting ready to show you. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and roll this thing. Alright, before we get into showing some silver, I just want to go over the pros and cons of big silver bars, just in case we have some newer stackers checking out the video today. We're going to run through these really quickly and move on to showing some silver. But first off, the pros of the big bars. Number one, they're a cost-effective way to add silver weight to your stack, and if it's in your budget to go big. Now, when we take a look at this chart, we see that the average cost of a 100-ounce silver bar is hovering right around the 2,600 plus range, with the lowest being 2,619. Now, with spot price hovering in the 25.50 range today, we can see that the premium is going to be, well, for a 100-ounce bar, is going to be less than $1 over spot at 26.19 an ounce. It's about as good as it gets, folks. Number two, they're a tangible large asset, which means they're being physically owned in your possession, and that does provide ease of transfer when you decide to sell. I mean, you can't physically hold stocks or crypto, right? Number three, they provide diversification on a large scale in your portfolio. And we all know, that diversification is vital in the world of investments. We've talked about this time and time again. You can't pin all your investments into precious metals. And number four, some potential for high returns if the bars are vintage or limited. Now, this most likely won't be the case for standard 100-ounce bars, since you can probably expect to get spot or just above in a sale. And in some cases, less than spot. And I hope folks are avoiding those shops. All right, now we're going to go over the cons. And big bars can sometimes present myriad different issues in comparison to smaller silver. And they are. Number one, liquidity. Look, large silver bars can present a challenge when you're trying to sell them in a sale, especially if you need the money in a hurry. It could take some time. But, here's the but. While this has been one of the biggest hits against silver bars, big bars, that statement might be turning into a misnomer. I was talking to Lou at Raleigh Gold Coin Dealers, and I asked him, so how many 100-ounce bars would you buy from a customer trying to sell 5 of them? I figured he picked up maybe 1 or 2, considering these bars do have a tendency to sit in showcases for some lengths of time. But I was wrong. He told me that he'd easily buy all 5 bars given the opportunity. Aggressive strategy. I dig it. I like it. And one last note on liquidity. You can't break down a big silver bar. So in the event you need to sell one, you'll be selling the entire bar. And this is where smaller silver weight makes more sense. If you're just starting off, you don't want to start off with big bars. That's crazy. Build up your stack and with smaller increments. So if you do need to sell something, you can go with the small stuff and not the big bar you buy down the road. Number two, transportation. Look, a quantity of large bars is going to be heavy as hell. I mean, it is what it is. And that can make them difficult to transport. Now, if this isn't going to be an issue if you only have a few, but just keep in mind the weight of these bars. You're also going to need to ensure you're transporting them securely, making sure you're adequately prepared for any situation. And I'll let you figure out what that is since YouTube doesn't like us talking about it. Number three, storage. Big bars are going to need a big secure space, which means you'll have to invest in a sturdy safe with some good sized storage areas. And this might be difficult to pull off if you're an established stacker who's running out of safe storage space. And number four, premiums. Unless you're hell-bent on getting that collectible angle hard or other premium bar, you're going to want to stick to generic big bars as much as possible. They're going to have the best value dollar for dollar, whereas the collectible stuff is going to carry a much higher premium, and that can negate any cost savings from buying a large bar in the first place. All right, so those are the pros and cons of big silver bars. And again, I threw that in there in the event there are some newer stackers watching this video. Let's go ahead and move on to some silver bars. I just want to show you some of the most common sizes available to you out there, and there are a bunch. There's a ton of them. Well, let's start off with this honker of a bar. Oh, Jesus. All right, this is the Handy & Harmon 100-ounce bar. Now, remember we talked about some bars being vintage or collectible? Well, this one falls under both. They're pretty scarce, seriously. And you'll see them selling in the high 2,000, almost 3,000 range on any given day. This one's been around for a minute, that's for sure. Now, from what I understand, Handy & Harmon, they started back in the 1890s in New York. And this brand was available in 1, 5, 10, 50, 75, and the 100 you see here. This is one chunk of silver, folks. Pretty cool. It's been around. You can see where it's been scraped, so it could be tested. I don't blame them. When you spend that kind of money, you need to test it. So that is the 100-ounce bar. Next up, got a beautiful Scottsdale Kilo. This is a stacker bar. And if you remember your math, there are about 32.15 ounces, troy ounces of silver in this Kilo bar. Got a serial number. I mean, it's not going to blow you away with details or fancy stuff. It's a kilo. It's a stackable kilo. Pretty cool. All right, next we got this IGR. This is a 500 gram or half kilo, and IGR is about as generic as you can get, since you're unlikely to see too much of a premium attached to them. And if we do our math again, we know there's about 16.07 troy ounces in a half kilo. So again, it's silver weight, folks. Very simple. Not too shabby. Moving on. I don't have anything between a half kilo and 10 ounces to show you, so I'm going to move on to the 10-ounce bar. Now, this is my absolute favorite weight for silver bars, and it's the size I stack the most of. And there's no shortage of stuff to choose from, like this Germania. Got this beautiful Germania bar. Now, these are considered generic silver, but I call these generic silver with a premium, as they're definitely more expensive than standard silver bars. Pretty cool, though. Definitely pretty cool. And speaking of premium, these are the type of bars you're going to want to make sure you understand what you're getting into before you buy them. There are limited editions like this King Charles Coronation bar right here. There are only 6,000 in the world made. You got this Garasopa shipwreck silver bar right here. And I don't know if they ever released a run number, but they are struck from recovered shipwreck silver. And another one, you got the Three Graces bar from the Royal Mint. Only 6,100 of those worldwide. Now, these are all going to cost you a premium, folks. And some stackers just don't want to go down that road. I don't blame them. I really don't. Personally, I'm just a sucker for adding a premium piece here and there. All right. Here's another Germania. This is a 250 gram bar. I do like the Germania bars. You can't tell. This equates to just a touch over 8 ounces, 8 troy ounces of silver. Now, I'm not really a fan of the gram bars, but I do like me some Germania, for sure. For sure, I like these, so I am stacking these. Next up, we've got a 5-ounce Germania bar. And it really is small for 5 ounces. They have crammed these things in here. I mean, check this out in comparison to a quote-unquote normal size 5-ounce bar. It's hard to believe you're looking at the same bar or the same weight. It's crazy. It's crazy. And, of course, we got the 1-ounce bar. I didn't really bring any, but you guys, you're familiar with them. You're familiar with them. I don't have to show you 1-ounce bars. They are going to carry the most premium. 1-ounce bars will carry the most premium. I can promise you. And just as a throw-in, a little bonus here. Here's some 25 gram. These are vintage bars from God knows where. Pretty toned, pretty old. And 25 grams. Talk about an odd weight. I just wanted to show you these for fun. So we're going to start wrapping this video up. But before I do, I just wanted to show you a quick chart that I put together that shows premiums on the different sizes of bars. We're going to go over it really quickly. And we're going to use a base spot price of $25.50 for this. Now, if you look, you can see the 100 ounces right at the top. By far the best value. And then, oddly enough, the next best value is 10 ounce with only 80 cents over spot. There must be a sale going on that I'm not aware of on 10s. But you can see the difference here. And the highest premiums are going to be on the 250 grams. Mostly Germania causing that. And the 1 ounce. The 1 ounce is actually the worst value out of all these sizes here. You're going to pay the highest premium on 1 ounce bars. So, yeah, this chart kind of proves what we were talking about. The bigger you go, the more you save. Kilos were doing pretty good, $1.06 over spot. I mean, it's not a bad deal. Even 5 ounce, $1.70 over spot. That's not bad. $2.50 over spot, you can avoid that one if possible. Lastly, some tips to consider when you're purchasing large bars. Number one, you gotta purchase from an authorized dealer. You have to. There are a ton of counterfeit big bars out there. You got to be really careful and buy a proven bar from a proven dealer. You'll appreciate it. Number two, look at the bar really closely before you buy it. Take a good look at it, since scratches and imperfections do lower the value. And number three, always price shop. When you buy big bars, you're getting ready to spend big bucks. Take some time, do your due diligence, shop around. You could end up saving hundreds in the end. All right, there you have it. So do you have any big bars or do you stick to smaller weights? What's your favorite weight and what's your limit on size? How high will you go? Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below and let me know what your thoughts are. I love going through them, so make sure you sound off. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. And if you made it this far, well, kudos to you. I'll definitely catch up with you in the next episode. But in the meantime, you know what's up.
What do you want to do with your life?
Damn right, get stacked. Stay safe and be well, everyone. I am out of here. Peace, folks.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.